Hello, once again, I'm live here with you on Facebook. I'm Naomi Mc Laughlan, and thank you so much for joining. I will quickly, this time I don't have a helper like yesterday, quickly refresh my page on my, what's that hair doing here? Completely stray. All right, anyways, sharing this live stream towards my personal page. I am very grateful, to be honest. I've noticed how many people have actually watched the replay, which is just amazing, because honestly yesterday I thought, oh God, I'm talking to myself. What happened to me? Why do I not just make a video and post it? You know, but I do have to say, it's amazing that I can see that people actually view it after it has been live. So let me see, share it to your own timeline. Yes, okay. So just in case if you ever wonder which one, oh, my hair is still looking funny. Anyways, if you ever wonder how to get this done on your business page, you can actually share your Facebook live video on your personal page as well, and then hopefully people can tune in and watch the video and you can see them interacting with you live. So yesterday, if you remember, we were talking about the tools I actually use for my multimedia marketing campaigns and which I recommend. And I do have to admit, I actually forgot at least two I use, and one is the Adobe suite. So I use Photoshop a lot, and I also use VideoScribe quite often to make explainer videos. So hello, somebody's watching live, so please say hello, state your name if you wanted to, or just say hi. I mean, you don't really necessarily, I always make the same mistake, I say the same, whereby I know you don't have to say your name because that will appear as soon as you send me a like or comment anyway. So just don't listen to what I say, just do what I do, right? So if it comes to multimedia marketing. Anyhow, today what I wanted to talk about, just checking whether that actually works. Yep, it's on my personal page, so I can now fully concentrate on this. Right, okay. So yesterday, like I said, I was talking about the tools, and today I would love to talk a little bit more on what I recommend you do in terms of which platforms to be on actually, and where you need to be. And there are really 3 steps I recommend you do in order to choose which platforms to use and how often you use them as well. So here it comes. Number 1 would be market research, which is kind of like a, oh yes, of course, market research, right? But apparently not everybody does that. So they just assume where their target market or target customer might be. And now comes the other part of market research. You first of all have to research or consider really clearly who your profile, who your target market profile is, or your what's it called, client or customer avatar, if you will, right? Meaning you would have to write down who is the best target customer or client for your product or service. And it doesn't really matter what you sell, but you have to be very clear on who this would help most, because although you might think, generally speaking, your products and services are for everybody, right? You do need to narrow it down, because if you don't, then yes, you shall be on every platform to just throw everything you have as many times as you can to just reach hopefully the right person, right? But you don't want to do that and waste your time. So because of that, number 1, so I would actually take it back with the research. Number 1, be very clear, who are you talking to? So who's your target market? Who are your customers and clients to be, and who are currently your customers? And if you haven't got any customers yet because you've just started out, then that's even brilliant in a way, because you can actually decide who you want to communicate with from day one, and you don't confuse any old customers if you then now go ahead and change your output and change the way you communicate, right? And what I mean by that is the keywords, for instance. So if you think of search engine optimization or SEO, right? I'm not sure whether you're familiar with that, but anyways, basically means the keywords you use in your content, so in your written content, right? And in the meta tags you add to a blog or in the description of your video and so forth, they are used by Google and other search engines to then produce kind of like a search term output, if you will. So if somebody types in, how do I get my hair super straight or super sleek or whatever, and you've used some of those keywords, right? Super sleek or super straight, or I don't know, ethnic hair or whatever your product and service might be, right? I'm just taking this as an example. Then Google or another search engine would kind of search the web, because there are millions of pages, and extract those keywords and then come up with a list. I mean, as I'm sure you know it anyways, but I'm just saying it just to repeat it, right? Just to remind you that the keywords are highly important. Meaning, if you exactly know who you're talking to, who your client avatar is, you will certainly use the same keywords they would use. So if your target market is 14 years old, then you would speak their language, right? You would use the terms they use to describe whatever they describe. So if I consider my 14-year-old daughter, then of course she would use many different words I would never even use, right? So she would say something like eyebrows on fleek, right? But why would I Google that? Because I mean, yes, I would Google that, or I would use that search term if my target audience are 14-year-old teenagers who are interested, let's say, in eyebrow makeup or something, right? But I wouldn't use that if my target audience is a corporate client, or if it's a working mom, or I don't know, a manager or whatever. So you get what I say, I guess, right? Anyhow, so number one, be very clear, who are you talking to? And that brings me to number two, search those places. So if you know who you're actually talking to, you actually know as well where they might be. And if you don't know, that's where your research comes in. So have a look around. Are there any Facebook groups, for instance, your target clients would use? So that means Facebook might be your medium. However, if that doesn't apply and they're more corporate, let's say they're employees or business owners, medium-sized, just for the sake of it, there might be more rooming on LinkedIn. If they're looking for a new product or service they could add to their business, right? So you would rather produce more content and focus clearly on your LinkedIn on people who actually use LinkedIn, right? Okay, so that would be number two. So number one, be clear who are you talking to, and number two, where will they be? Where do you actually meet them? And number three would then be the content you produce. So it's obviously clear if you find out that your target audience uses loads of videos or roams around YouTube, right? Then obviously it's very based around video what you do. However, if they would rather read something, then of course you need to choose whether you go to WordPress if they roam around. So once again, you would have to go back to your research and have a look, will they actually access it over there? However, the mix is the key. So I would not focus solely on just one audio or video or written content. I would always have those three elements. But the question is, how many platforms can you maintain? And I think that's the final and key step. You need to maintain them, like these live videos. Initially I said, oh, I'm so on it and I will do a video every single day at 7 o'clock. Well, that didn't really work, right? Because I was busy with other stuff. So although I will continue doing the live streams and I will eventually figure out a time that I actually meet people live, I've also realized it doesn't really matter as long as I am here and doing a session. The time doesn't really matter in terms of people having access then to viewing the video if they're interested in the content I share, right? And I can say that because I can see how many people have actually viewed the video, which was not live at that point then, but it was just placed on my page as a replay. So I can see people are actually interested and actually view it but they're not necessarily live, which in this case is almost like a YouTube video. You would produce it once and then people can just replay it at their leisure time or whenever they got time, right? Which would automatically help you as well. So it's really up to you. But like I said, you need to maintain it. So if you say you will be blogging every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, do so. And if you can't make 2 o'clock, don't just think, oh, it's 3 o'clock now or it's 4 o'clock now, so just forget about it another week, wait another week. So don't wait that week, but rather blog an hour later or whenever you got time on that day, to keep that consistency, to keep people tuned in to what you sell and what you do. So whether it's a service you sell or products you sell, whether it's online based or whether it's brick and mortar based, that really doesn't matter as long as you keep on communicating your message on a consistent basis. And I would even actually go so far into saying it needs to be on a daily basis. So if you look across my channels, I do cross share on days where I'm super lined up with work and where I can't actually produce really new content for each platform. However, I always try not to do that as often because obviously it bores people. Plus, they would literally think, why should I follow her or him on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram if the content is constantly the same, right? So you want to keep it unique for the platform at which you're actually sharing it. And the other aspect of it is, what I recommend is keep them on that platform. So don't say, okay, here's a link to platform. So they meet you, let's assume they meet you on Facebook, right? Give them content on Facebook. Just don't just give a one sentence and then a teaser and send them somewhere else and then send them somewhere else as well. So the most I would suggest you do is have one link going towards something else, like more content, a sign-up page, a sales page, more information or something like that, or maybe a freebie like I did in the other video where you could actually sign up for my email list, which you can still do. It's still up, right? So it's still there. You can still sign up for it and you would receive a social media marketing checklist. That's actually a good thing to do, right? So it's one link and you actually go somewhere where you can access something for free. But I would not recommend sending them somewhere and then sending them somewhere else again, like click here if you want to find out and then click here to find out more. So, right, because people's time span is shortened because there's an information overload online but also offline, and people just don't have that time. And if they're interested in your content, yes, they might go ahead, but if they just want to read a little more, or they're interested but they lack the time or just the interest, right? You don't want to frustrate them by having too many links. And the other aspect, so there are a couple more, right, is don't send out broken links. You have to check your links before you add them to any of your content, because that's so frustrating for most people. And that's what I get as a response to my advice as well, that even when I advise my clients not to do so, not to have any broken links and consistently check that all the links work, they're like, oh yeah, I really get frustrated as well and I really hate it as well, but honestly I don't check it, right? That's a big step. So that's a big thing. That really frustrates people, and then they're off. They're not going to try and search your page and search around the internet. If they can't find it, they will find it from somebody else, and then they're off. They're off your page, they're off your content, and then they are distracted, of course, and then they're gone. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to miss out. So I highly recommend each time you include a link, let it just be one to the next item they can consume, and plus the links must work. Right, okay, so I think that's it for today. Let me quickly recap. So like I said, in order to have a great output and the right output, you shall first be very clear, who are you speaking to, who's your target market, who's your target customer and client. Number two, do your research. So where they're actually at and what type of search terms would they be using in order for you to include that into your meta tags and into your descriptions underneath your videos and so forth. And then number three, if I'm at number three, I didn't take any notes down today, so I'm just doing it out of my head, right? So I hope you forgive me. Was to to keep consistent. So you choose the channels they're actually at, you speak their language, and you need to be consistent. And then those last few little key aspects were that all the links need to work, and don't send them around in a circle because they just get frustrated and then they're off. So include one link if you will, but if possible, allow them to consume the entire content you share on the platform they're actually at. So just to give you a quick example, it would be quite annoying if I would have made a 2-second or 2-minute video here and then said, oh, if you want to see the whole video, go to YouTube. You click this link and then you can see the next. Worst case scenario would be like, oh, go to my website. You would find the next 5 minutes, then you have to sign up for my newsletter list, and then I send you the rest of the video. This is just plainly annoying because people want to consume it now. They read the headline, they're interested, they click on it, and they want to consume it where they're at. They don't want to be sent in circles. So that's it from me today. I will quickly check whether there are any questions here. Let me see. No, I can't see any on my shared on my personal page, and there are no questions underneath this live video. So I'm assuming you don't have any, you're not here yet, but if you do and you watch the replay, thank you so much, and leave me your comments below. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend you join the Global Brand Strategy Success Club. I've just opened up, and it will certainly help you to build a global brand using multimedia marketing content and getting full access to me, email support, private Facebook group, weekly training, and then Q&A sessions. I hope this training was helpful to you. Ooh, my battery is almost dead, so luckily I'm almost finished. Have a lovely, lovely evening, morning, or day, depending on where you are. At the moment, once again, like yesterday, it's quite late here again. So have a lovely evening, at least if you are in this time zone, and otherwise spend the rest of your day with your loved ones. Be grateful. Love you loads. Thank you for watching. I'm Naomi Mc Laughlan, and goodbye for now. Bye.